In a quiet age when meadows were wide and stars seemed close enough to touch, there lay a forested realm called Alindra. Its heart was a sapphire lake, clear as polished glass, and on its northern shore rose a castle of pale stone where King Aric and Queen Selene ruled. Aric was only 25, tall and steady, with a voice gentle enough for children yet firm enough to hold a hall in silence. Selene, 2 years older, was known for a calm gaze that seemed to read the threads of fate. Their marriage had been born of friendship, and together they governed with patient fairness. Alindra flourished under them. Barley swayed gold in summer winds, and cedar-scented markets bustled with carvers and weavers. Yet beneath the bright surface ran thin streams of deceit. Courtiers shaded truths to curry favor. Merchants quietly adjusted their scales. Small lies grew like ivy, unnoticed until they began to crack the stone beneath. One evening, after hearing a dispute in which both farmers bent facts, Aric paced the gallery while lanterns flickered on carved beams. "How can I defend what is right?" he asked Selene, "when even simple words hide thorns?" Selene, ever thoughtful, unrolled a parchment from the library. Faded ink traced an old legend. Deep in the veil of stars lies the mirror of truth. Whoever dares look upon it will see the heart laid bare, strength, faults, every shadow of intent. Aric studied the script. If such a thing endures, perhaps it is time a king sought it. At dawn he entrusted the throne to his steward and set out with Selene and 4 guards. Their path led through rolling pasture into woods where sunlight broke in coins across moss. Villagers waved them on, pressing loaves or sprigs of rosemary into their hands. For 2 days they rode, through pines that whispered secrets. On the third, they climbed stony ridges where streams leapt silver between rocks. At night they camped beneath quiet constellations, and Selene told tales of rulers who had shaped nations by daring to know themselves. By the 4th dusk they reached the Vale of Stars, a hollow encircled by birches whose bark gleamed like moonlight. In its center rested a shallow basin carved of granite, brimmed with still water, so clear it seemed not of earth at all. Mist curled low. From it stepped an aged keeper, wrapped in a cloak of gray leaves. His beard glimmered with frost though the air was mild. He leaned on a staff topped with crystal. "Few come willing," he said, voice like wind through reeds. "The mirror gives only truth. It spares no vanity, yet grants a gift, the chance to mend what is found wanting." Aric bowed. "I am ready." He leaned over the basin. At first only his reflection stared back, moonlit and calm. Then ripples stirred, revealing scenes. Himself as a boy hiding a mistake behind charm, as a prince avoiding quarrels rather than speaking fairness, as king, letting advisers soften judgments he should have spoken plainly. None were cruel acts, but each a stone in a wall between him and candor. The images cleared, leaving his face steady and searching. He felt neither shame nor pride, only clarity. Selene stepped forward next. She saw her hours of patience, her tireless counsel, but also moments she had cloaked her own thoughts for fear of burdening Aric. Tears pricked her eyes, then eased, leaving calm resolve. One by one the guards peered. Each straightened quietly, as if shedding an unseen weight. The keeper lowered his staff. "Truth is a river. When rulers drink deeply, their people will thirst for the same." Aric and Selene thanked him and departed beneath a sky thick with stars. The return road felt lighter, though their packs were no less heavy. Back at the castle they began to live as the mirror had shown. Where Aric once softened verdicts to keep peace, he now spoke clear and fair, though always kindly. Selene shared her thoughts openly, trusting his strength. They required the same of ministers and merchants, measures honest, records plain, tongues free of sly turns. At first some balked, fearing reproof, but soon a curious ease spread through the halls. Markets hummed with straightforward trade, farmers resolved quarrels without endless claims. Even children at school learned to speak truth without trembling. Seasons passed. Alindra's fields yielded abundantly, its courts grew calm. Visitors remarked on a serenity rare among kingdoms, as if the very air carried steadiness. Years later, Aric walked the ramparts at dawn. Below, fog drifted across the lake, soft as spun wool. He remembered the basin's surface and the courage it had demanded. Selene joined him, a shawl wrapped about her shoulders. "You have ruled long," she said, smiling. "What lingers most?" "That night," he replied, "when I dared see myself as I was and found a better way forward." On Midsummer's Eve, the people gathered by lantern light to honor their sovereigns. Bards sang of the mirror of truth, of how a king and queen had learned to meet the world unmasked, teaching all to stand taller through honesty. When twilight deepened, Aric and Selene sat by the lake, stars reflected like silver seeds. Age had lined their faces, but not dimmed their gaze. They watched moonlight ripple across the water, a living echo of the mirror, and felt content. Their legacy was not carved in marble but in clear speech, fair judgment, and quiet trust that wove neighbors together. Children yet unborn would walk paths made smoother by candor, and storytellers would remind listeners that seeing clearly is the beginning of wisdom.